Hey, what up, everybody? It's Moss coming to you with some Pioneer content. Now, obviously, if you're a competitive player, you've probably seen it on everybody else's channels by this point. Made popular by streamers like Doomwake, Tandy, and basically everybody else. We're going to play Boros Convoke today. The deck itself, fairly easy to get. Play out a bunch of little dudes and hopefully Reckless Bushwhacker your way into some big damage. If that doesn't work, Knight-Errant and Venerated Loxodon to pump the team. Super easy. Sideboard. It's what you would expect out of any white-based deck or any red-based deck. Wedding Announcement, Rending Volley, and the Invasion of Gobakhan. The few things that kind of make this particular Boros Convoke deck different than some of the other ones that I've seen floating around. Decklist Stone, yeah, it's good in the mirror. Personally, I wasn't big on it, so when I saw the original list, I thought, sure, I'll keep the deck in Stone. It's a little slow. But Electrickery, it's a pretty hot card. Deals with the flavor of the week right here. Plus, you get to overload it and destroy your opponent's board on their turn. Pretty sweet. You got Tormod's Crypt for Greasefang, Rending Volley for Greasefang, Magmatic Chasm, just when your opponent's going just as wide as you are, or they're going taller than you are. Best way to get through just a flooded board. Some other interesting inclusions. Yotian Frontliner is actually like a really interesting card. Wasn't expecting it, but when I thought about it a little bit more, being able to get out of the grave, have it get haste, and then being able to use it potentially twice for Gleeful Demolition targets or for Convoke targets, kind of rad. And then Plargg / Augusta, the Dean of Chaos and the Dean of Order. Really sick card. I've played it in a couple of the games I've done for testing, and Plargg's okay. Drawing a card's pretty good, and realistically, you're not using the front side all that often, but there could definitely be some utility in that second part, especially on your opponent's end step. However, more often than not, we're casting Augusta. Being able to tap and untap our creatures, convoking out things twice in one turn potentially, pretty good. Again, untapping everything and letting them basically come through with pseudo vigilance, huge for this deck. And the extra pump on the front end, I mean, why not have a 5th Bushwhacker? So that's the deck, but I'll see you guys in match number 1. Alright, match number 1, we're going to be on the play. Let's get it. So admittedly, this hand is kind of risky, but we can convoke for a pretty huge creature on turn 2. Hand's kind of keepable. Okay, opponent's mulliganing to 6. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off Battlefield Forge, Ornithopter. We're going to go ahead and cast out both Ornithopters, really. And then just Gleeful Demolition one of them. This deck is probably the beginning of people's feelings on Pioneer just getting bad. I mean, this deck just puts out insanity. Okay, would I like to pay 2 life? Yes. Opponent's right. We are about to have some fun here. Alright, so Knight-Errant unfortunately won't be able to get another Convoke creature. That's probably the biggest disadvantage to us, but right here we're actually okay with this. Alright, yes, we would like to use Knight-Errant's ability. And we're going to... Let's get a... Reckless is good. Epicure is also good. And then we will play Epicure pass for our opponent. All right, wow. Opponent kind of gave up real quick there. All right, match number 1 sideboarding. Wow. All right, so the mirror matchup. Obviously, if you're going to be playing an RCQ this coming week, this is the deck that you still really need to be aware of. In the mirror, just using this version, I'm going to bring in the Electrickeries, and you really want to be the deck that slows down some in this matchup, so bring in the wedding announcements as well, and bring in the chasm. So in this matchup, side out the combo. Like, it sounds really bad here, but siding out the combo probably the best thing that we can do for ourselves, simply because you're not going to be going that hard. I'm also kind of big on siding out the giant killer here. You're only hitting these 8 creatures, which is huge, but you have other things that you're wanting to do in this matchup. Just trim across the board, go kind of heavy into cutting your 0 or 1 drop artifact things. Alright, this hand is kind of slow. So we've got, you know, turn 2, 5 power, not bad. Turn 3, we Loxodon and kind of rage. This hand's not bad, and it can gas up again pretty hard from here. Yeah, we'll keep. Yeah, this deck really just exacerbates people's feelings on the format. Just the, oh, it's a coin flip type of format. It's a very much play draw type of format. This is what reinforces those negative ideas. Okay, so cast that. I kind of want to just cast both of these. We can Burning-Tree next turn and just get real crazy with it. Venerated Loxodon on turn 3. Legion Loyalist is also a really interesting card in this matchup. Being able to get first strike and trample in, pretty huge. Ooh, opponent's stuck on 1 land. Oh no, they just played their land at the wrong time. Brutal. Brutal. Well, while opponent made that mistake, I don't think we're necessarily going to be doing the same. Alright. So let's go ahead and... It's actually really tempting here, but I kind of want to just play. The only problem is that only happens with the surge cost, but we can make our entire board bigger than theirs. But I think some amount of aggression is just warranted in this matchup. We can't be playing the protective role the whole time. Okay. We get our mana, and we cast with Surge, and then we go to combat. And then just F6. Now our opponent's likely going to block here. No, our opponent just took it all. Took 7 down to 12. Alright. Can their board go just as hard? And the answer is yes, it can. Okay. Opponent's going to swing in for 2. That's fine. You do you, opponent. They're about to see us do something fairly similar. In fact, just to really drive that one home, gonna do this. And then cast with everything. Alright. And then we're going to leave our own Burning-Tree back. All of our opponent's stuff getting first strike is going to be pretty big for them. Alright, so opponent is just as fresh to this deck as I am. So they cast a second Venerated Loxodon, which is actually a huge boon to them right now. And I think this put me in a much better spot than them. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play our second Convoke spell, because our second one is just better. Like, Knight-Errant being able to dig, especially in this instance, for other 5-drops is pretty huge. Okay. So here we're definitely taking everything in this hand. And I think we want this Loyalist and this Venerated Loxodon. Alright, so for us in this moment, our opponent has 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. They've got a lot of damage on board. And I think we just want to go ahead and... Ooh. Yeah, hurting ourselves right here is probably the worst thing that we could do. Alright. So, opponent and I have both played out everything in our hands. I think the best thing I can do right now is just hold back, because again, all my stuff still blocks theirs. My 4/4 is all being up, block their 3/3s with no problem whatsoever. The only problem is if they go 0 or 1 drop into a Bushwhacker. Another big problem is that all of our creatures, while they might try to get through some of theirs, the bodies just being slightly bigger are going to be an issue. Opponent thinks that I'm dead on board, and my response is math is for blockers. Alright, opponent's doing the thing. We're gonna just hope that our math's better. There's 8, 11. Ooh, no. We have to block differently. Oh, no. Alright, so let's remath it. Alright, there's 4. And now math. There's 7, 10, 12, 13. Oh, brother. We gotta block both of those to hopefully get through. Alright, let's block there. Think we're dead either way? Yep. We're dead either way. Right at 1. Jeez Louise. That's brutal. Alright, I think the other thing we're going to bring in here is just that deck in stone. Wedding Announcement's just a bit too slow, so we'll cut one. And we will bring in another Ornithopter to hopefully help us out. Gonna leave one Wedding Announcement though. Okay, so this situation, how are we looking? The answer is not great. Hand's super slow, got a mull. This hand is actually worse. Mull to 5. Okay, this hand is keepable. We'll put back the Magmatic Chasm and the Mana Confluence. And then we're just gonna hope here. We have to hope against hope that everything works out. Alright. Starting to get better. Let's swing. And opponent doesn't block. They'll take the 1. Next turn we can Knight-Errant. A pretty decent sized board. Ooh. Ooh, opponent went harder. Yep. Their Knight-Errant is better than our Knight-Errant. Man. Okay, what do they get off of theirs? Okay, opponent got a Thraben Inspector and a Reckless. Alright. Well, this is a temptation for us currently. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll just pass. Yeah, opponent had a really good turn set up there. But they still got a ton of value off of this. Alright, they play another Knight-Errant. Pretty sure the opponent's winning here. They got 2 of theirs off. And they've got a Burning-Tree. Ugh. The value is just so high for them right now. Yeah, because they're going to Burning-Tree into Bushwhacker next turn. And then there is nothing holding them back. Alright, so let's see. We can maybe get something here. Yeah, let's yield to this Knight-Errant. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so we get 1 creature off of it. And it's not really one that helps us out significantly in this situation. Opponent might have us dead to rights here. Yep, they cycled away a land. So we know that they are sitting on Bushwhacker and the Burning-Tree. There's 1. There's 2. Alright. Yeah, opponent just turned him sideways. Let's go ahead and block their Knight-Errant, but pretty sure we're dead. Oh yeah, we're at 5. Yeah, this is a GG's. Yep. Good games, opponent. Ooh, yeah. Mana Confluence, bad draw. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Alright, match number 2. Let's get it. We get to be on the play. Hand is not bad. If we can actually get a good spell in our next, like, 2 draws, we should be fine, actually. Alright. And let's see what our opponent's doing. Alright, opponent is doing the mirror. Yep. Alright, this is a Pioneer League. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and it almost seems really good here to just Gleeful Demolition their token, but we're going to go ahead and do it like this. Let's see what our opponent does. Will they block? They are blocking. So they definitely know that we're on the same deck. They are definitely... What? No. Our opponent is Rakdos Cat. Meow, meow. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and have that come in tapped. And then we will Burning-Tree Emissary into Legion Loyalist. Honestly, this matchup might not be great for us. If only because if they manage to stick a Mayhem Devil next turn, then they're just destroying our whole board. Yep. Alright, so opponent's doing that, but that little bit of sneaky trample text right there probably throwing them off. They'll take all 5 of that damage. Alright, here's the hope. No Mayhem Devils. Alright, implement. Implement? Opponent, are you just trying to do some things? I am so confused. Implement of Combustion? Are they just a Rakdos Gleeful Demolition deck that just happens to have room for the cat shenanigans? Opponent's out here doing things. Okay, so now we have a predicament. We can just go ahead and grow our team. And I think it's actually kind of fine for us to do it like this. Sure, opponent's going to gain 2 life here and slightly offset what gains we had just made the previous turn, but that's okay. Opponent's going to push themselves to 16. We're going to go down to 12. All right. Let's go, opponent. Okay. So, our opponent plays their land. Oh no. Alright, no Mayhem Devils. Let's go. Alright, an opponent just passed. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and play the Yotian Frontliner. And then we're just going to swing. Opponent can't block, except for with their cat, which will have no effect. So, big swing. Do your math, because I refuse to, opponent. Alright, opponent's done their loops. They're drawing a card. They discarded Sokenzan. Alright. They got a block. Maybe. Opponent just chooses to go down to 2. Okay. Again, if they end up doing something like going for the Mayhem Devil here, if they even run it, then they definitely take down our board. At least a good chunk of it. They get to take out the Legion Loyalist, which is the hardest part for them to deal with. Alright, let's go on to sideboarding. Okay, so against Rakdos Cat. Well, again, we really just want to slow them down. And Deck and Stone's good, but I don't know how good it is here. Electrickery's probably fine. Wedding Announcement's good. Tormod's Crypt doesn't seem good. Magmatic Charm's probably fine. So let's actually take out the Electrickery because realistically, we're riding the back of the Legion Loyalist all the way to the bank. Alright, we're taking out the Giant Killer. We're cutting down on the combo package. And we're just going to run it back close to like that. The Deck and Stone's really good against the Mayhem Devil itself. Really good against Ob. There's targets for it. And this hand is kind of slow. We do have a decent turn 3 if we can keep drawing lands. Alright, opponent thought seizes us. They're going to see our hand that is really hurting to draw lands. Alright, so that's step number 1. We're going to play this as well. And then swing. Again, 19 lands. Like, this is about as aggro can be. The deck functions perfect at 3 mana. Ideally likes to be there. Okay, now they're taking the Wedding Announcement. So opponent put in a lot of stock to just destroying what we're doing. Okay. Definitely punished here, but that's fine. If we go land next turn, I think we're fine with that. Land and or Bushwhacker. Okay. Opponent plays their Cauldron Familiar. Oh, they just had 2 Cauldron Familiars. Alright, there we go. There's the land. So now we're going to go ahead and red. Happily take that. Play that. Move to combat. Swing with everything except for the Ornithopter. Alright. Let's see what your move is, opponent. Alright. Blocking. Ooh. Nasty. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and block their Cauldron Familiar. Man, okay. Opponent saw through that line right there. That was good. Alright, opponent has a Fable. Forbidden Friendship is good, but I think we want to just draw more with our Clue token right now. Alright, so didn't hit a Convoke spell, unfortunately, but we'll play another Thraben. And We'll swing with everything but the Thraben and the Ornithopter. And see how it goes. Our opponent's going to keep blocking everything that we're doing here. But right now we do have our opponent kind of backpedaling. Just really holding themselves back. They have to become the beatdown. Alright. Opponent discards a Blood Tithe Harvester. It is a little slow in the matchup, so understandable why. Opponent swings through. We'll happily take. And nope, they have it. Ooh. Ooh. Fortunate for us, they didn't have it. Okay. Another Thraben off the top is not bueno. Not bueno indeed. Alright, so gonna go ahead and actually just play this other Thraben Inspector out. Again, the more draws that we have, the better our chances are. But now that our opponent has their good loop set up, I think we just need to hold everything back. Unfortunate. Alright. Opponent is doing their thing. They were able to gum up our board enough, and this is why Magmatic Chasm is really good for this deck. Oni Cult Anvil. They're just a Luris away from an older version of Rakdos Sack. I can respect this. Now, here's the big question. I think we do just want to block like this. Stops the opponent from doing anything crazy. We take out a good chunk of their stuff. Okay. This is a start for sure. Alright, so I think what we want to do is we want to cast Augusta, but we can't right now. Because Augusta really would help us out in such a big way here. Alright, we're just going to play that and say go. And again, as long as we... Now here's where it can all go downhill for us. We can miss on a land and untap land. Ooh. Okay, yep, nope, that seals it up. Yeah, that wraps that up. Alright, so back to sideboarding. Really nothing that we want to change here. Deck looks fine. Alright. Alright, we're going to be on the play for game number... Well, I was about to say 3 in Italian, but I know I would definitely butcher it. I am no Andrea Magucci. Alright, hand's fine. We can Bushwhacker on 2, draw a land, and Wedding Announcement on 3. Alright. Say go. This is one of those games where we just have to hope we can out-aggro our opponent. And they Thoughtseize us. Okay, cool. So our cool turn 2 is just gone. Yeah, well, now hold up. Cool turn 2 is gone, but an even better turn 3 has opened up. Alright. Now, we just have to hope that our opponent misses on everything from this point forward. Okay, opponent's got their mountain. What you gonna do? Cool. Blood Tithe Harvester. About what I expected. Venerated Loxodon. Also, about what I expected. Alright, so yield. What are the cards here? I can only take one. And it's a Thraben Inspector, which I actually have no problem just playing that this turn. Alright, and boom. Alright, so let's go ahead and just tap down everything. Yep. We will cycle that away. Play land. And we're just going to go ahead and swing out with this Knight-Errant. There's no way that they don't just block here. Yeah. So we're cool with this. It's a fine block. And then we put some pressure on next turn with a big swing for number. Legion Loyalist would be sick off the top. Opponent discarded 2 Oni-Cult Anvils. And they are shocking in. No Sheoldred. Whew. Thank goodness, no Sheoldred. They can't gun down our board. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and actually just do this here. We'll take a damage. Like, there's no reason for us to just not. Okay, so we'll take another one. Admittedly, should we have held on to that? Yeah, because it could bait out a Thoughtseize. But we're just swinging through regardless. Opponent's down to 2. Unless they're, again, just about to, like, gun down our board. I really have a hard time seeing how they win from here. Okay, you Blood Tithe. Okay, you can sack Blood Tithe. I mean, opponent can gain 4 here. Sure. Or we just win. Yeah. All right. Sweet. We win. All right. On to game number 3. All right. Let's go ahead and get into game number 3, or match number 3, with another die roll win. This is where this deck does so well. If you win the die roll, you can do crazy things. Except for when your hand is this exceptionally slow. Make one of these a Gleeful Demolition, and I look at this hand completely differently, but we got to ship that back. This is better. Whoo. This is pod racing. Alright, opponents got Gigantha, so they're either the mirror or they're doing something similar. Kinda want to just get rid of the Forbidden Friendship here. Like, it enables some of those better early draws, but I think in this situation with this hand, it's just not good. We're not convoking anything big out early. Alright, let's see. Is it a mirror? No, it's another sack deck. Okay. Okay, interesting. Well, we're going to go ahead and push here. There is no reason for us to not push here. And opponent's obviously going to block. Hopefully they miss that little bit of sneaky first strike trample, but it's Moto. Our opponents have a basic reading ability. There we go. Alright, so not what we were expecting, but hey, could be worse. Now the question is, how crazy can we make this? Alright, yeah. We will do this, and opponent gets their big board, or rather, we get our big board. They're going to stare at our big board. They're probably going to deadly dispute their creature. Let's see, what'd you get in exile? Fatal Push and Blood Tithe. I mean, they could sack that token and push our Bushwhacker. Not the worst choice. They'll probably want a body on board, though. Pushing our Legion Loyalist, also not a bad idea. Okay, yeah, so they're going for the Mayhem Devil and push line. Or maybe opponent's just forgetting about it? Yep, okay, they remembered. They remembered. Sweet. Alright, opponent's thinking. Tank, 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 tank. Hit the Legion Loyalist. Or maybe you'll just target your own Mayhem Devil? Nope. Oh, wow, they actually went after the Bushwhacker. Alright, cool. Wrong move, Yugi boy. So our opponent's really just gonna let this go through. They're probably gonna mark a damage on the Loyalist and make it easier to kill, but we've got no problem with that. Yeah, so play land. Meh. Alright, smash in. And I mean, yeah, smash in. Let our opponent have to block. They'll block the Loyalist and they'll lose the huge amount outside of that, but they're cool with it. If we could just get another Bushwhacker off the top, we'd be so happy with this situation. Alright. It's opponent's turn. They're tanking. Alright. Opponent plays their Oven. They've got 5 other cards in hand, so they have to have creatures. So what are they going to do? They went Tank, Mountain, Oven. And now it's probably going to be Tank, Tap, Hive, Cat. Ooh. Opponent's thinking about what to do with their mana. They're trying to pay some costs. Oh. They cast a Claim the Firstborn. Okay. You took our robot. Cool. You hit us for 1. You're sacking our robot. You're hitting us for 1 again. Oh, opponent's going to sack the food and gain 3 life. Okay. Not a bad choice either. Nope, I thought they were going to go ahead and crack their food token and kill off our Burning-Tree, but suppose not. Okay, you got Unlucky Witness. Tank, 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 tank. Sack Unlucky Witness? No? What are you doing, opponent? Alright, play that. Move to combat. Just swing with the Loxodon because you're obviously going to block sack and response. Yeah. Alright, opponent got another Unlucky Witness and a Deadly Dispute with their sacrifice. I feel like the better thing for them to do here is to just Deadly Dispute one of the food tokens. And... okay, cool. Yeah, you got an Unlucky Witness, opponent. Okay, you've got another one. That makes things a little bit more clearer. A little bit more clear. Pretty sure we're dead now. Because no matter what we do, we're taking 4. Like, let's go ahead and just draw a card here. See what happens. We're going to go to 13 and we're going to lose a creature. Okay. So, yeah, you're going to kill our Venerated Loxodon. Yeah, we're kind of dead here. Alright, sweet. Let's go on to game number 2. Alright, side in all of this, this, and side out the combo pieces. And run it back. Alright, so game number 2 on the play. And this hand is not great. If we had an extra land or even a Gleeful Demolition, this would be ideal. But we gotta mull this. Another 1 land hand, but I actually like this one more. I think the biggest question is, do we get rid of Plargg, the Forbidden Friendship, or the Wedding Announcement? I want to say it's the Forbidden Friendship here. Alright. Then, boom, pass. Alright, and opponent plays Urborg, play Familiar. Cool. Alright, we're gonna sack that. Unfortunately, we didn't draw land. This definitely means that we are playing somewhat behind right now. Alright, opponent plays Blood Crypt untapped. And they are playing an Unlucky Witness. Not swinging, saying go. Alright, so Legion Loyalist is actually kind of sick here. We just have to hope that they don't, like, Fatal Push it right now. Okay. And then If we draw land anytime soon, we can go Burning-Tree Plargg. That would be great. The sooner that we can cast this wedding announcement and hopefully get it to flip, the better it is for us. But right now, with our opponent holding 3 mana and potentially casting... Okay, nothing crazy. Probably means that they do have some type of sack spell. Okay. Yep. You use our Loyalist against us, and then you deadly dispute it. Gross. Alright. Opponent has another Cauldron Familiar. Well, good news is boards are fairly strong on both sides. Alright. We got the Knight-Errant hitting the battlefield, and nothing really great for us here. We got a Thraben Inspector and an Epicure, and that's it. Boo. Alright. What you got, opponent? Can you make a good response to our 1-land board? Ugh. Eaten Alive is a real good response to our 1-land board. Alright. Fable. Wow. Hey, look at that. Another Legion Loyalist. Unfortunately, however, it's not going to be enough. We really can't attack with anything here. Again, having an extra land would have done so much for us across this entire match. Or even if that Knight-Errant had been a Loxodon, it would have been really good. And opponent casts Deadly Dispute. Definitely not good. They get a treasure token. What else are they doing? They play a land. And they're probably about to play some other good stuff after removing our Legion Loyalist. Oof. Our opponent's playing really well right now. They're holding back their creatures. They're just playing very conservatively, and I can appreciate that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play this Epicure into another Gleeful Demolition, because if we can cast this wedding announcement next turn... Yeah, let's go ahead and cast this Gleeful. The Thraben Inspector is definitely tempting, but just having as many creatures as possible, pretty good too. Alright, opponent flips their Fable. They play land tapped. Do they have... Nope. Alright, sweet. They don't have it. They just have the oven. They're fine with an oven. Now, the other question is wedding announcement too slow for us right now? I think that's a really good question to consider as well. Alright, let's go ahead and just cast this. We're definitely not playing as fast as we should in this circumstance. But I think this is fine. We can draw a card, hopefully draw out of this very bad circumstance for us. maybe hit a Reckless Bushwhacker and get into the driver's seat here. Or we're just going to be dead on board. Yep, we are dead on board. Alright, GG, opponent. Alright, match number 4, and we're going to be on the play. Okay, so hand isn't bad. Admittedly, if we can get something good to go with this Burning-Tree Emissary, then that makes the 2 Convoke spells in our hand just a little bit better. But let's see. Alright, opponent mulligan down to 6. We're going to play our Legion Loyalist. We're going to swing in for a bunch of mana, or for a bunch of damage. Just 1. Who knows? Alright. Opponent goes Bala Ged Sanctuary tapped, so we're playing against Lotus Field. You know, I'm kind of cool with this. Yeah, we'll play the Burning Tree. Mana burns up. And then we'll swing. Cool. Let's see what happens. Now, I think next turn we want to go for Knight-Errant. Like Burning Tree Knight-Errant into something. Okay. Cool, so alright, opponent got a Thespian Stage. Either they have the Lotus Field in hand, or okay. So here we're just gonna get a yeah. What do we want here? A giant killer bushwhackers. Good damage. Alright. Yeah. And then let's see what they do. What they should do is okay, they played Thespian Stage. And then they're just playing the Vizier of Tumbling Sands. Alright. Well, we're going to play the Giant Killer. And then we're going to surge out this Bushwhacker. And then we're going to swing for a big chunk of damage. Math is for blockers, so let's see what they do. Opponent blocks Knight-Errant. They're going to take their beats. And that was lethal. Alright, sweet. On to game number 2. Let's go ahead and just bring in the Gobakhans and that. Go down Giant Killer, Thopter, Frontliner, and run it back. Alright, so opponent's going to be on the play, and we love this hand. So we get to go turn 1, sack the ugly Ornithopter, make 3 1/1s. Okay. Opponent goes pretty good with an Arboreal Grazer. It's not bad. Gonna go ahead and cast this. Okay. So opponent plays the Otawara. They get a Voyaging Satyr. Okay, it's bad, but play that. Ornithopter. And then we're going to go ahead and do this. Next turn, we're going to go Bushwhacker, or BTE Bushwhacker. If we got a Loyalist off the top, this would be insane. Okay, and opponent's going to do their thing. Opponent's going off. Opponent's going off. That's lots of blue, clap, clap. That's lots of blue, clap, clap. Really, just Brawl. I mean, you get to reduce the cost of your next, like, pour over the pages. Your next hidden strings, no, you just go for Leer, and then hidden strings, and then pour. I mean, okay. You really don't have any other spells, opponent. Alright, you got a Botanical Sanctum that you just discarded. Do you have another? Okay, another pour over the pages. Am I really just about to get Enigmatic here? Okay, Cycle Vizier. Opponents digging for all of their spells. Maybe they'll find it soon enough. Ooh. Oh, they cast the comma. Okay. Yep. This game is likely already over. But we'll let them keep playing it out. Okay, so opponent finally decided to kill my Loxodon and then swing through for 1. Woo. But then they get to untap and start doing it all again. Oh no. The nightmare continues. Okay, now opponent has knocked out more of our goblin tokens. Okay. Now we can go ahead and concede, because we're not winning through Zakama. Alright. So, back to the board. Nope. It all seems pretty rad. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna definitely keep this. Hand's too slow. Hand's actually fine. I really want to say we need to just drop the Forbidden Friendship here. But we'll just go Ornithopter, that. Say go. Because we should honestly be able to just go for a big swing either next turn or the turn after. Alright. Admittedly, probably not the smartest of moves for us. But I mean, big swing here. Alright. Opponent takes 4, down to 16. So there you go. Opponent went Voyaging Satyr into Lotus Field. Okay, so I guess we're just going to Invasion of Gobakhan and take a look at your hand. It's like Impulse or Hidden Strings. Impulse helps them dig. So we'll just go and attack the invasion. They'll block, kill the Bushwhacker. Oh, well, no, they didn't kill the Bushwhacker. Okay. Alright, opponent goes Sylvan Scrying. They're going to get a Thespian stage. And then they're going to play Thespian stage. They're going to untap. Going to float some more mana. And then, boom. Yep. And then you're going to Hidden Strings. But at least now we know, like, all the cards in their hand. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just do this. And so it's Gobakhan, Gobakhan, opponent, or no, opponent. So they'll let the Gobakhan die. They'll ensure that they don't take any damage here. Okay. Cool. Opponent's got 6 mana at their disposal. They can Otawara this back to our hand. Hidden Strings. Nope. Just gonna Scrying again. Okay. Interesting. I guess I could go and get another... Ooh, never mind. They get Boseiju? You know, I'm actually cool with them Boseijuing this. I don't want to pop it in response. We'll thin our deck a little bit. Let that go. Opponent's going to untap. And then what? White man is disconcerting. Opponent just cast Supreme Verdict. Alright, well, we know that they have Hidden Strings and Impulse in their exile that they can cast. You know, opponent got us there. Opponent really got us there. Alright, Alright, There we go. Swinging with the den. Pass turn. Okay. Opponent play Temple of Mystery and pass. Unless they really just want to go for the impulse, but they have the mana to do it at the end of the turn. Now, we've got a good bit of mana, a good bit of damage that goes through if we do this. So, we'll cast Bushwhacker, surge it out. Okay, what's the opponent getting here? Well, now I'll have to reveal it. So, opponent's definitely in a bad spot here. Next turn, we take them to the cleaner unless they combo off. Hey, let's go! Alright, see you guys in the final match. We almost had the 5-0 sweep with die rolls, but our opponent is going to take that from us. Alright, opponent's not playing a companion, so they could be on something interesting. This hand is slow. I mean, there's a number of draws that we can get this next turn that make it better. It's also very painful as a hand. Let's go ahead and mulligan. Okay. This was a better keep. We'll put back a Epicure. And let's see what our opponent does. Now, chances are they could be on the no companion version of this list like we are. They go Swamp, Thoughtseize. Not really giving us a whole lot to work with beyond potentially a third sack deck or just Rakdos, maybe Mono Black. They're taking one of our 1-drops. No, they took the Burning-Tree. Okay. Alright, well, we're going to shock that in, play out our Loyalist, and then just ding in for 1. Alright, opponent's at 17. Opponent plays Seer Step, so definitely indicating Rakdos. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go Thraben Inspector. And then cast Epicure. Yep, they stomp our Loyalist. Okay. So, our opponent's Rakdos. This is a interesting matchup because I played from the Rakdos side before, and if this deck gets a really good turn 2, turn 3, it's unbeatable. This side, however, can definitely game against it. They're going to side into a much more controlling deck than we are, and it's hard for us to deal with that. Alright, so they eat our Burning-Tree. And I think actually here we are just going to play Augusta because there's no reason for us not to. Alright. Now the problem is if our opponent... Okay, so we definitely don't want to trust it. And I think as long as our opponent doesn't play Bone Crusher here, we're actually fine just swinging in. Okay, but they did play Bone Crusher, so we're not just going to swing in willy-nilly. Yeah, I think we do just need to... Okay. So, let's go ahead and play like this. We will attack with Augusta. The trigger will occur. Alright, so that was definitely a punt. We probably should have just attacked with one of our other creatures and then gotten the untap there, but... Ugh, yeah. We're just getting kind of beaten down hard here. I want to say that we just double block one of these because we can't necessarily stand to get wrecked even more than we already are. Alright, let's go ahead and double block here. We will concede if we see the push. No push. The Shelly potential is kind of huge though. Okay, we draw a card, we'll play a land, and then we'll say go. I mean, we're fighting the good fight, but we're not fighting hard. Okay. Yep, there she is. Okay. And we can go ahead and just concede here. Alright, so on to sideboarding. Let's go ahead and bring in the wedding announcements and the invasion here. And we'll bring in the Magmatic Chasm because that's just great. And we'll do the same thing that we've been doing with cutting down on the combo package. It does make sense for us to maybe cut down on one of the Burning-Tree Emissaries. We're slowing down a lot, so we're not really comboing as hard. And then run it back. Alright, we're going to be on the play. Hand's aggressive, but a single Hidetsugu consumes all just ruins us. But I think we gotta keep it just in this position. Okay, opponent's mulliganing to 6, so they're mulliganing for the Hidetsugu. But we can den into Forbidden with the Vantage on 2. Alright. And say go. Okay. next turn we can Epicure Friendship. And oh yeah, no, opponent's definitely trying to. Alright, let's do this then. This is the better play in light of that. Play around the Hidetsugu consumes all. Oh wow, yeah, no, opponent definitely teched for this matchup. Let's drop the forbidden friendship. Like, dropping Ornithopter definitely... Okay. Yep. Cool. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and... Epicure. We're gonna Mana Confluence. We're gonna Surge. Gonna cast the Ornithopter. Then we're gonna Surge. Because, yeah, it definitely seems fine to just run it all, but opponent just, like, dumped their whole hand. I'm not really expecting anything insane. Like, if they Shelly here, they Shelly. No, they went for Extinction Event, and they're gonna, yeah, go for Odd. I mean... we probably just go for Ornithopter here. And then we're just gonna kind of hope and pray. Like, opponent's just gonna have to be slow and not have much going on in their hand. But if they got it, they got it. Alright, so... Alright. We got the Loxodon. If we can get another land, being able to activate the den wouldn't be bad. Okay. So opponent just did the Rakdos thing and became removal.deck after board. The Path of Peril, the Hidetsugu consumes all. There's so many cards that they can use to tech for specifically this matchup. And if you're anticipating seeing a lot of the Boros Convoke deck at whatever store you're playing at for your RCQs this weekend, it's probably a good idea to just start teching for it. I mean, we'll go for it here. Okay. So, hitting it again, not bad. I mean, it sucks to see our life getting drained by this much, but it is what it is. Opponent goes up to 10. And what are they about to do? Play Bone Crusher? Yeah. And honestly, we'll take the Shieldred hit. No. Alright, so we're chopping down Shelly. Swinging for big money. Okay. Opponent's getting aggressive. Alright, well, let's see if they got it. Do you have 2 sweepers in your deck? Well, 2 more sweepers. Because most decks are running a 3 of on the extinction events, 2 or 3. Okay. Well, swing in. Power word kill. And do you have a stomp? Goodness. Alright, cool. Well, I'm playing the wedding announcement. Hopefully growing everything out of size. Alright, so opponent just didn't do anything and passed it back. Well, we're just gonna pass back to them after playing the land. Make a dude. Opponent is Kolaghan's commanding us. Okay. Honestly, a good one. Alright, opponent has Sheoldred again. Alright, well. I mean, if the opponent has it, they got it. Yeah, GG's. Alright, see you guys in the wrap up. Alright, so, literally Hogaak, the Boros Convoke deck. It is okay. Admittedly, we definitely made some questionable keeps, and we definitely didn't play as tight as we could have in this circumstance, but realistically, just like with what we saw with the Rona combo, we've seen it with the green-red dinosaur deck, which check out Leonard's video on our channel about that deck if you're still interested in something that's arguably stronger than this. Like, I get why the streamers are really attached to it. Again, flavor of the week, it's the newest thing. But the green-red dino deck just felt better, more consistent. There was stuff to do besides relying on the Reckless Bushwhacker, Ornithopter, Burning-Tree Emissary line. Like, there was more burn that you could do. There was more damage that you could deal. Sure, you miss out on some good sideboard cards, but the deck overall just was better. This deck is fine, and if you want to try to spike a RCQ with this, it's definitely possible. It spiked several of the Pioneer events last weekend. So it's still definitely got about a good week and a half in its life cycle, but it's kind of a mid deck. But hey, if you want to see me play some more mid decks, then don't forget to like, subscribe, do whatever to this channel. Turn on that little bell notification. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. I'm planning on posting my Rakdos guide here in the next couple of days, so be on the lookout for that. But until then, peace.